Hey, Wisconsin. More like Craig. Okay, so actually like just probably SWS department. Students. Maybe not even them. We are today going to be talking about triangle and some more features of the triangle. Yesterday we talked about a triangle, all three sides. You take this one plus this one plus this one, they all equal 180, baby. All three sides. Actually, all three corners. Three angles. All right, today we are going to be talking about a couple different proofs and isosceles triangles. You guys remember what isosceles triangles are? Isosceles triangles mean two sides are the same length. Okay, isosceles. All right. So here's the kicker. It says if two sides of a triangle are congruent. So if two sides are congruent, so we usually put a little slash through if they're congruent, and those are both the same length. That's what congruent means. Then the angles opposite them are congruent as well. Now, it's kind of a fun little thing, and I'm going to illustrate this. You need to understand what opposite of an angle is, because when we get to sine, cosine, tangent stuff, you better know. So basically, I'm going to take this angle right here, and I realize if something comes shooting out, it's going to hit the opposite length. All right, so the opposite of this angle is over here. All right, and let's reverse all of that jazz. Let's go forward one more. And then the same thing over here. Look at the opposite of this angle. Right? That's the opposite of that angle. So thus, listen to this. If two sides of a triangle are congruent, thus and thus, woohoo, getting better at this whole mousy thing, then the angle opposite them are congruent as well. And remember, what was opposite of those sides? This bad boy and this bad boy. Remember, what would be the opposite of A here? That wall, right? And that is not congruent. So it's this angle and this angle. They're the same. Congruent. So, maybe this is 45. Probably more than 45 actually, and this is 45 then. That kind of makes sense. We don't know the length, but they would have to be the same. They have to be congruent if the sides are congruent. You guys got that? That took 3 minutes. Boom. Lesson done. Alright. Next. Alright, if two angles of a triangle are congruent, this is going to be tricky, guys. Guess what? If two angles are congruent, then the sides opposite them are congruent. So what you're trying to tell me is that, like, if this and this, if I know those are congruent, are you trying to tell me that the sides opposite those, like that, and the side opposite of this, like that? Are you trying to tell me that these are congruent too? It's kind of like reverse psychology. So we know that if two angles are the same, then their opposites are also the same. So if this was like 9 inches long, I would know this is 9 inches long. Thus. All right, moving on. Here's the fun stuff. Example 1. All right, now I'm starting to see some congruency. See, this matches up with this. So that means the opposite angles are the same. Well, this bad boy here would hit here, all right? So we know 50. And this would hit, the opposite of this is right here. All right, now I don't know if we're following this okay. Are you guys paying attention to this? Or am I just not being very clear? If this is 50, all right, and that hits that wall, then this wall and its shooter is going to be the same. And I know this right here must be 50 degrees. All right. So now, we're thinking about logic that we had yesterday. I know 3 sides of an angle equal 180, so I know 50 plus 50 plus the x equals 180. All right. So much fun. It's fun to do math with Sheely. 50 and 50 gives me 100. Yeah, I should really write a record. It would be a hit. I just come up with all these songs right off the top of my head. That'd be like Adele. Maybe we could say it like a Dustin. A Dustin. Maybe a Sheely. Maybe that would work too. Okay, so if this is 100, I'm going to minus 100. Alright, and I'm going to minus 100 over here. You feeling what I'm feeling? That means x equals 180 minus 100. I believe that is 80 degrees. So this angle must be 80, which I'm hoping you probably could have done that without me having to write this out. Because if this is 50 and 50, that's 100. How much do I have left to fill that sucker up? Right? Alright, here's the next proof. Alright, so listen. I see this right here. This is the same as this angle here. So that means since this is 8, that means the opposite of this angle must be, this must equal 8. See how I did that upside down 11? It actually kind of looks like parallel, but they're not. Maybe I better erase that. It's actually backwards. Just kind of tilt your head like this. No, actually like this. And then you'll see it says x equals 8. Actually, it looks, if you tilt it like that, it looks like x equals infinity, but yeah. Anyways, it's x equals 8, right? Because if this is the opposite, and that's 8, then the opposite of this congruent triangle is 8. So x is 8 on that one. Moving on. Example 2. Here's where it gets real fun. I don't like this problem. You're never gonna, I hate this kind of problem, but well, I gotta do it anyways. Here's a formula. It says angle 2 equals 5x minus 5. I need to find x because aren't we always trying to find our x? Thing is, I don't know what angle 2 is. Here's angle 2. Oh, wait. Wait a second. Angle 2. Wait a second. This is congruent to this. Alright? So since this right here shoots there, this shoots there, alright, this must be 45 degrees. Right? They're congruent angles. Okay? So congruency. So I know actually angle 2 is actually 45. How dare he? Name that movie. How dare he? Give you a hint. I think it was 89. 1989. Harrison Ford. I might be wrong on the year. How dare he? Plus 5. Plus 5. We are kicking it now. Now it's 50. Equals 5x. Alright. Divide by 5. Divide by 5. And I know x equals 10. You know yet? Movie? He has a glove in his hand. He says, how dare he? Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. They're acting like Germans. And I think he's, I don't know. Moving on. Alright, so I know something here. Something I know. Let's do purple. This matches that, and that matches that. Thus, 7 must equal, right, since they're congruent, this side must be the same as this side. So I'm going to say 7 equals 2x plus 25. Holy moly, where did the time go? It's already 11 minutes into this video. Alright, anyways, minus 25. You guys get the feeling? You get this drift, minus 25. It's too much movie trivia in these movies. Like, what does that have to do with math at all? Negative 18 equals 2x. We need to do movie trivia. No, stop. Okay, divide by 2. Divide by 2. And I got negative 9 equals x. Is that what it said? Did it say to solve for x? Must be. Because I know that side's 7. Right? I do know this side is 7 already, because it's got to be like that, right? That's why I said 7 equals this. Any questions there? Alright, 3 minutes remaining. I love this countdown. It's just kind of thrilling, isn't it? Holy shnikes. Alright. I don't know how far we're going to get. We'll try and get as far as we can. Alright. So, I know that this angle corresponds with this. And I know this angle corresponds with this. But I need to find x. Well, let's try and solve some things. Let's try and solve some things at least. If I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to at least solve something. I'm going to solve something. And I see this over here and say, hey, if that's 115 degrees, can I figure out what this sucker is? I think I can, because that should be a total of 180. So 180 minus 115, last I checked, was 65. So that's got to be 65. Now I know what you're all thinking here, and you're thinking, oh, well, if that's 65, holy moly. Alright, this pen is going crazy. You're saying, if that's 65, oh, then x is 65, right? X has got to be 65. No. Remember what I said? This matches up with this side, and this side matches up with this. So this is 65. Or why can't it just be easy? Alright. So, if this is 65 and that is 65... I believe 65 and 65, I'm going to kind of skip ahead here. I believe that's 130 degrees right there, right? Just those two angles are 130 degrees. So what does x have to be? Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick. 5, 0, I believe, 50. X is 50. You guys kind of got the drift of that? Okay, you gotta really plunk around through some of these things. Okay. All right. Now these are equilaterals. Now guess what equilateral is? Just take a guess. If a triangle is equilateral, then it is equiangular. So if all the sides are the same, guess what? All the corners are the same. I'm going to run out in 2 seconds here. I'm hoping you guys can get this. So if a triangle is equilateral, then it's equilateral. Alright, so I got 10 seconds. So guess what? Okay, this is 60, this is 60, and that is 60. X is 60. We're going to do the same problem.